So will Lockhart be a Switch competitor? This was my theory. This was my theory, and I kind of thought it would be cool to explore it a little bit more. Yeah. So,
I love
what
this theory.
if? Right?
I
Yeah.
love
Me
it.
and Greg were talking about this the other day. What if the Lockhart was a portable Xbox, and like it's xCloud focused. So yeah, you if you have Wi-Fi, you can play your games. You almost have that docking thing, but you're not
Hmm.
actually literally docking it. But you basically get home and say, "Play it on my Series X." Boom, and now you're playing on your Series X. Say you can take it from Series X and put it on your
Auto resume feature,
exactly. You can put it on your Lockhart from there. Boom, take it with you. Of course, you can do that on a phone, right?
Hmm.
Uh, but if this is a dedicated handheld, and let's say that it has the graphic capabilities of I don't know an Xbox One, you know, the standard edition Xbox One, and it has those capabilities, still better than the Switch graphics capabilities, which
Hmm.
phones nowadays have better graphic
Yeah.
cards than a Switch, so it is possible. Um, but this is a dedicated thing, so you can download games. You can download Halo Infinite. You can have it on your Lockhart, and it just doesn't look as great. You know what I mean? But you can still play it. You can still take it with you on the go, and it's because the reason where my mind went with this was because they said that the Lockhart is rumored to be less powerful. Um, and that kind of got my mind thinking. I'm like, well, if
Hmm.
it's less powerful, who would
Why
want
bring it out?
who would want that mid step upgrade when you
You already
just
have
buy
the
a
One X.
Aria 1X? You know what I mean? Like, this is a mid step upgrade. Now, the only thing I can think is that maybe this lower powered, like in the teraflops, like if it has 4 teraflops, like it was rumored, I think it was 4.
But that's
Uh,
lower
Wow.
than the
it was
One X.
what was that, Holmes?
I said that's lower than the One X.
It was lower than, from what I remember, the rumors saying that it was going to be lower in
Yeah.
teraflops. But if it does have the SSD, I guess that is where it makes up the difference. Um,
Hmm.
but it's kind of like, man, if it's going to have that kind of graphic, that power, then what if it was in your hands?
Yeah, it's plausible,
Right.
and that's what the and like we went like deep into this
Yeah, I'm
the
about
other
to bring
night,
up the text. Yeah.
like because like what if XCloud and console streaming was all just a clever marketing test to see if people would adopt being able to play on the go because they already had Play Anywhere where you could play on like your Surface tab.
Yeah. And I mean,
Like it was just
that
a clever test to see who would how many early adopters there would be and if it would be worth their time.
mhm. If it's, I don't know, man. What do you think, Andrew?
I was gonna say I got a couple of concerns with it. I think it would be smart, but considering a big brand like Sony also dabbled into the handheld market for a while, and they
Mm-hmm.
failed. Nintendo seems to be the only one that just excels in the handheld market. But I
Mm-hmm.
will say, as not a handheld gamer, um, I love the idea, and I would pre-order one along with the Series X
Mm-hmm.
because that's just awesome. And I'm a big Xbox guy, so you know, I could see me owning one and just having it around for those times. I had to take a small trip or something like that. But as far as like as getting into like a hardcore fan base of a Switch competitor Xbox.
It wouldn't necessarily be, I guess. Well, I guess it would be technically a Switch competitor. I mean, it is portable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was gonna say it would be now
yeah, it would be competing. Yeah.
as like an addition to your Series X as something like nice to have that you could you could play and then cut
Dreamcast memory card type deal. Like you can
yeah,
take it with you.
like Greg said, you come home and you pop it in and you play it on your screen and it converts over to the Series X or something. That'd be
Yeah.
great. I also feel like if that was the case, they'd have to come in once again cheaper than the Switch Lite. So now you're talking about maybe
Well,
199, 249 price range they'd have to come in for something like that.
yeah.
I think we talked about that too. We were like, I mean, that's not unreasonable.
It's not
I
unreasonable.
don't think.
You could come in at a higher price than the Switch, I think.
Because what's the console sell for right now? Just a regular 1S.
Right.
Is what, 199?
Yeah, I think it's 199. Might even be 250 still. It's just like, yeah. I mean, if you look, you could sell it more than the Switch because this is a better evolution than the Switch. You're selling almost an Xbox Series X portable. It's kind of like.
I agree with you, but you're also you're trying to sell the Xbox brand compared to the Nintendo brand.
And this is where I kind of the line gets a little blurry, or at least the thought gets a little blurry, where I'm like, Xbox just wants Xbox everywhere. If they had their way, they would just put it on the Switch. Like I think they would give Switch permission to stream xCloud. You know what I mean? Like if it was possible, yeah, you can stream our games with the Nintendo Switch. You just have to be connected to Wi-Fi.
I think a higher up wanted that because Phil Spencer came out I think one of those conferences he did maybe a month or two ago. He seemed to take offense to people asking, is this game going to come out on Switch? And he basically put down the line and said, look, we want people to realize, no, we're not dabbling in that no more. You want to play our games, you buy it on the Xbox.
I do remember that article, yeah.
To me, he kind of took offense. So I think maybe a higher up was pressuring him to dabble into the marketing of putting Xbox on other like the Switch or other consoles or something. Mm-hmm. And I think he finally put his foot down and said, I think he's on his last stand and said, let me take control of the Series X and let's do that.
This is my baby.
That was my takeaway.
Honestly, I think that's exactly what I would want to see. I am not really happy with seeing. Of course, it's great. Yeah, you get Ori on the Switch. If you own a Switch and you don't own an Xbox, you have the chance to play one of the best games, literally one of the best games of the year. Like you can play it on the Switch. I'm sorry, one of the best games of that year that it came out, Ori and the Blind Forest. You can't play Will of the Wisp on the Switch. But yeah, you have a chance to play. You can play Cuphead on the Switch, which was Xbox Game of the Year that year. Yeah, there it is. If not a contender for Game of the Year, if it wasn't pitted against Breath of the Wild, like it was, you can play Cuphead on your Switch now, and that's an Xbox. It was an Xbox exclusive, and I think that's where it starts to get. It sucks, you if you're an Xbox fan and you say, oh yeah, well we had Cuphead. Well, it's not yours anymore. You know what I mean? Like if you're an Xbox fan talking like that, that's not an exclusive. That's on the Switch.
That's funny because I was in the store today and I was checking out at Target and I was wearing my Ori and the Will of the Wisp T-shirt, and the girl asked me, she goes, "Oh, is that game any good?" And I said, "Oh, it's probably my favorite game at the moment." And she said, "Oh, okay, good. Is it on the Switch?" And I said, The first one is. I said, "But you cannot get the second one." I said, "You have to get an Xbox for that." And it was I just told her, I was like, "You really need to get an Xbox." I was like, because they got, if you like that, they got Cuphead. Then I said, "Oh wait, you can play that too."
Oh, you can play that on the Switch.
I said, "But if you want to continue that Ori adventure, you will have to get an Xbox."
I mean, it's interesting where Xbox is going. The message that they have been sending, and up until that article where Phil Spencer was like, "We want our games, Xbox Game Studios, to be, synonymous with Xbox."
Right.
But up until that point, it was like, man, they were just getting the games out wherever they could. If they could get it out on PlayStation, I feel like they would have, like Game Pass. You know what I mean? Like it just seems like that's where they're headed.
Well,
but
I was just going to add a final thought about your portable Xbox. I think if they really wanted to push a portable Xbox, they need to let's see, Battletoads, Ori, Cuphead, Super Lucky's Tale. Maybe even bring Conquer back or Banjo.
Oh, yeah, dude.
God, try to get Contra, as an exclusive or something. And like all those games I just named, what was that, 7 of them?
Yeah.
Like those are Nintendo-esque type games, but they're Xbox. Like, so that could be like your brand, like Super Lucky's Tale. That's like a cute Nintendo character.
Right.
Make that an Xbox. Really put some time into that game and polish it this time, and make it, face of Xbox, right next to Cuphead, right next to Ori, and you have these animated, Nintendo-esque characters, but it's got the Xbox logo behind it.
Mhm.
I think that would be a good driving force against, Mario and Zelda and Pokemon and those kind of games, even though those are really high profile.
Yeah.
But that would be a nice when you're at the store and kids are looking at them. They're like, oh, well, look, they got cute little characters over here, and so does Nintendo. I think I'm actually liking it. I think your idea of a portable Xbox, as long as they'd have to put a lot of push behind it.
Yeah.
Right. Market the right type of things for it.
Yeah, so they'd have to really be pushing the Series X and the Lockhart kind of in the same direction, but separate, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would say that when I say that it's a portable, like I'm basically saying it's a portable Series X, but you're basically playing, how Witcher 3 looks amazing on your Xbox One X, but then you can actually play it on the Switch, and it looks like somebody rub Vaseline all over it, but it you can play it. Like, I mean, it's there.
Oh, boy.
So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you could take, like, say if you could take Halo Infinite and play it portably, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a companion, basically. It's not saying like this is our own. This is where my thought process is going. Like, this is not its own. Like, we're not trying to say we have an Xbox portable. No, this is a Series X that you can just take with you. And you can utilize the Series or the xCloud to its fullest abilities on Wi-Fi. You can play it looking at that high fidelity. But if you're not connected to Wi-Fi, you can download these games on your system, and they'll just play. They'll play
save state. You can pick up your save
Yeah,
state.
they won't look as great, but you can play them downloaded, or you can play on Wi-Fi and utilize the full capabilities of the xCloud. That's where my thought process was going. If they were really going to go this route. Now, once again, that's just a wild theory that I'm throwing out there. The success of the Switch is undeniable. So if Microsoft wants to get into that, and like it not, I guess it is a kind of directly competing with the Switch. And we've seen Alienware. I think it was Alienware. Is that one of the tech shows earlier in the year? They showed literally it looked like exactly like a Switch, and they're saying this thing is playing PC games. You know what I mean? So it's possible, but I'm also kind of like, one thing at a time. Focus on the Series X. So, and then it also goes along with the lines of Phil Spencer saying that. He doesn't care about console sales right now. He just wants to get the Xbox name out there. So
that also leads me to my other theory that if there was a time for VR,
yeah. Oh my
this
god.
generation is the time, bro. Like maybe that is the second SKU. It's like a bundle like the PSVR was. Because I mean, all of this power and like you're not utilizing any of it for VR.
It's interesting, man. In my opinion, I would almost want them to go partner.
Yeah,
I would rather.
They're already with Oculus, right?
I think it was Oculus but they also partnered just recently with. God, I want to say HTC, but I'm not 100%.
Oh yeah, the Sense, yeah.
Yeah, and so they partnered with them as well. So it's kind of like, was that partnership foreshadowing, or like, are we going to get are we going to get this? Like, you don't need to release your own like Sony did. Just say, hey, your Oculus Quest, go ahead and plug it into the Series X. You know what I mean? We'll power it, sure.
And if you don't have one, here's a branded one for you.
Yeah, I mean that would be cool. But yeah, so that was my wild theory on the Xbox Lockhart.
That's my biggest draw. Like, that's the biggest thing that actually wanted to make me play a PlayStation, though. Like the PS4,
the VR?
Was the VR. Dude, Skyrim in VR?
Yeah, it just
come on, man.
I own PlayStation VR. It's good. It's not a system seller. Like if you want VR, get Oculus Quest.
It's because he couldn't handle it before, but now.
But the Oculus Quest, dude, we played it at E3. It is
We did, yeah.
Leaps and bounds better than the PSVR, in my opinion.
Wasn't it Phil or was it another Xbox exec that came out when he was asked about VR or she was asked about VR and said that it was something they were still researching but didn't see the what's the word I'm looking for?
I guess they didn't see the value in it, or
Yeah.
Because he was
People
saying that they
it's
were
dying
glorified
off.
demos. Basically,
Okay.
he said I don't even know if it was Phil Spencer, but it was somebody from Xbox saying that once VR hits a point where it's not just like a glorified demo, then they would want to start getting into it. And I think with Half-Life Alyx, I think that proved
That was awesome.
Yeah, that proved that they're no longer demos, and there's other great VR games out there that are full length
I'm
VR
gonna tell you
games.
you get me a
Astrobot.
racing game with VR, and I'm in.
Yeah.
A racing game,
Yes.
dude. I played Drive Club on the PlayStation VR. It is so. I mean, I got motion sickness on it, but I mean that could just be me. I was like, this is weird, dude. I couldn't handle it. I was like, maybe if you had your full Thrustmaster like setup going on with the VR on, that would really change things. But for me, once you're like sit down in that car and it starts going like really fast, you're just like, my mind was like, I'm not catching up right now. This is a little weird.
I'll be honest, you were also playing, what'd you say, Drive Club?
Yeah, and it was on the PlayStation VR with the whole screen porch effect, and like it was blurry visuals. It wasn't.
Let's get Forza or Gran Turismo on there.
No,
Sure.
honestly, I wasn't gonna say it.
All right, then we go. Okay, so if you're watching this individual video, we're going on to our next segment of console wars. That was War Games. This is going to be in response to, and this is our big segment for the night. This is in response to Ryan McCaffrey and his article on the Xbox just needing to just come out swinging for the July event. The pressure is on. He made a lot of comments there that I thought were excellent comments, and so I would just like to read some of these comments off, and we can just talk about those. What do you guys think?